أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. A warm and heartfelt welcome to everyone present today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless this gathering with knowledge, wisdom and barakah. To begin our session on spiritual uplifting note, we have Sister Amina Kaisar, Associate of GIO Chennai Metro, with a recitation of Holy Quran, followed by its translation. May the words of Allah bring light to our hearts and minds. Sister Amina, the platform is yours.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الرحمن الرحيم. مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Ameen. Translation. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the entire universe, the Merciful, the Compassionate, the Master of the Day of Judgment. You alone we worship, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us in the straight path, the path of those on whom you have bestowed your favors, and not on those who have earned your anger, nor of those who went astray. Sadaqallahu al-Azim.
Jazakallah khairan, Sister Amina, for the beautiful recitation. Truly, the words of Allah are a source of guidance and peace for all of us. Now, to officially welcome you all and introduce our esteemed speakers, I invite Sister Azimur, Secretary of Girls Islamic Organization Chennai Metro, to share her welcome speech. Sister Azimur, please take the floor.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings of Almighty be upon us. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. On behalf of Jamaat-e-Islami Hind Ladies Wing, I warmly welcome you to the special webinar commemorating International NGOs Day. Without further delay, let's introduce our speakers for the day. Our first speaker, Ms. Tendral Ma'am. She is an assistant professor at Madras Christian College, Department of Social Work. Also, she is pursuing her PhD in social work from Bharatidasan University. She has 17 years of experience as academician. She has published several research papers and also served as resource person during the workshop and sections at St. Christopher College of Education, Veperi, Tamil Nadu Police Academy, and Family Strengthening Program, SOS Village. Moving on to the second speaker, we have Dr. Selvi Ganesh Ma'am, who has worked as legal advisor to the Embassy of the Federal Republic of Germany, Assistant Professor of Indian Maritime University, Associate Professor at Ambo University, Ethiopia, Africa. Currently serving as visiting faculty at Law School in VIT Chennai, visiting faculty at Indian Society of International Law, New Delhi, freelance legal content writing and copy editing, legal consultant at Madras Christian College. Next up, we have Ms. Fatima Jalal Ma'am, State Secretary, Women's Wing, Jamaat-e-Islami Hind, Tamil Nadu and Pondicherry. And we have our next speaker, Ms. Komal Elilmaran, Advocate, Madras High Court. Also, we have Dr. Rabia Basri ma'am, correspondent of Hidayah Islamic College, Chennai, National Assistant Secretary, Jamaat-e-Islami Hind Ladies Wing. Last but not least, we have Ms. Rahila Noman ma'am, Secretary, Jamaat-e-Islami Hind Ladies Wing, Chennai Metro. It's my pleasure to welcome you all. As we gathered here today, we are reminded of the critical role that non-governmental organizations, NGOs, play in shaping our world. From advocating for human rights and providing humanitarian aids to promoting environmental sustainability and empowering local communities, NGOs are the unsung heroes of our time. Today, we celebrate the tireless efforts of NGOs around the world who work selflessly to create positive change and promote sustainable development. We recognize the challenges they face, the obstacles they overcome, and the lives they transform. Our webinar today is titled The Role of NGOs in Building a Sustainable World. We'll be exploring the way in which NGOs are driving sustainable development, promoting social justice, and protecting our environment. We have assembled a diverse panel of experts who will share their insights, experience, and perspective on the role of NGOs in building a sustainable world. From the front line of humanitarian work to the cutting edge of sustainable innovation, our speakers will take us on a journey of discovery and exploration, inshallah. So let's get started.
Jazakallah khairan, Sister Azimu, for your warm words on insightful introduction. Moving forward, we have our first speaker, Ms. Tendril ma'am, who will now share her valuable thoughts with us. Ma'am, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Shamina. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So, it's actually a privilege to share this platform with the diverse experts during this webinar. And I would like to congratulate and acknowledge this association for commemorating this NGOs Day. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So let me move on. I'm going to keep my sharing very lively. I'm not going to share my screen. There is no PPT that is prepared. This is going to be my personal as well as professional sharing from my perspective. Okay. So, as she introduced, I did my UG BCom, and after that, I was able to think that I have to contribute something to the society, and it was actually a little boring to play with numbers, to tally them here and there. Okay, so I was just thinking, what would be my future career, or how I'm going to contribute to the society. And luckily, it was my dad, my father. He was working at AG's office, Accountant General, the central government, and he was the assistant audit officer there. So, he deals with auditing. So he know how government is contributing as well as NGOs are contributing. So we usually have our discussion and we talk about all that. And once we had our discussion on RCH program, reproductive and child health program. Then he just guided me saying that why don't you apply for masters in social work? That was actually a very new degree course during the time 2004. Okay, and then I just applied for the same at Stella Maris College, and then we had to go through interview, written test, etc. Because I'm skipping from one major commerce to the social work background. And then I really did well. That's what the HOD said, and then I got selected and I got admitted there itself. So this is my very brief beginning of my journey into social work. Okay, and then I realized how government as well as NGOs are trying to contribute for the welfare of the people, but it is the NGO which really reaches them very soon, or they are able to capture or get their attention very quickly than GOs. So this is the core concept why I had to really begin my career from social work onwards. And when I did my MSW, Masters in Social Work, uh, they were offering specializations. At Stella Maris College, there were three specializations. One is community development, CD. The second one is family and child welfare. The third one is medical and psychiatry. Okay. So we have to opt for any one specialization during our second year. So the first year is very generic. We had to learn about psychology, sociology, etc. And then during my second year, I chose the specialization family and child welfare. Okay. So we also have field work and we'll be placed in NGOs. So as a student trainee, I know, how I work with NGO and how the employees at NGO work. And now as a professor, I place my students in the NGO. Okay. And now also we are able to collaborate and evaluate and assess how these people are really able to contribute and where the lacunae is. Because every area or arena, we have pros and cons. Okay. So as a student, I was able to apply my theories there and work with children. I was placed in YWCA, Young Women's Christian Association. There were so many other projects there. I was placed at Sahodari Project. It's a family counseling center. And I was placed at Alcott Memorial School. It is at Besan Nagar. That is actually for the lower socioeconomic children, who come there. And the Alcott Kuppamnu சொல்லுவாங்க. அங்க இருக்கிற பசங்க அங்க படிப்பாங்க. Okay. So that was my experience. So what I'm trying to say is, I was able to handle and listen to people who are considered to be or who are referred as vulnerable from the weaker section. Okay. And then I realized, yes, so this is the principle of humanity, and I need to accept people as they are. Okay. And that is how it just went on. And then later, when I was completing my second year MSW in my post graduation, we will be placed in as it is now termed as internship. We called it as block placement. So I was placed in one NGO, which is actually a sister concern of Stella Maris College. Okay. It is located at St. Thomas Mount, and this is, St. Thomas Babies Home. That is how it is called as. It's an adoption center. So as a trainee, I was placed there for my block placement. And you know how they work. It is a very, very professional approach that they begin with for a childless couple. Okay. So I had to learn from the professionals there, and it's a legal process, preparing the documents for prospective adoptive parent, father and the mother, and the process of selecting the child that is not given to the parents. Okay. And the criteria for adoption, CARA, the Central Adoption Resource Agency. So I was able to learn. It is so new that I learned so much there. And if I had to really tell you, I would climb all the steps all the way from the first one to the last one. I think it will be like 150 steps, and it's very steep as well, St. Thomas Mount. Okay. So that is how my interest was. So I never objected that I had to climb all the way, for my block placement. And then soon after I finished my block placement, I received my certificate that, I have completed it. And then there was a need, for a social worker to be placed there, because the sisters had to work, and all the home visits, preparing of documents, they did not find any suitable candidate there. And then again, my professor, she said, just don't worry about the salary that they pay, which is very, minimal. You contribute to the fullest, and you'll be satisfied with your work. I'm a very, very teacher-oriented student. I love teachers. So whatever they say, I said, yes, ma'am, okay, I will go. And again, my journey restarted again to climb up the steps. worked there, and then I worked there for about 4 months there. And then the sisters, they themselves, said, okay, you just move on and you can find any other job. Okay. And then my residence was at, Adyar Indira Nagar. Okay. And then the adjacent building to the quarters, central government staff quarters, because my father was working there, he was allotted a quarters there. Just adjacent to the building, we had this TTK hospital. It is popularly known as TTK Hospital, but it is actually TT Ranganathan Clinical Research Foundation, TTRCRF. Okay. And they had two wings there. And I had never had earlier experience about de-addiction and so on. And again, I went through my interview, I got selected. And then there are two wings. One is called as PCC, the other one is called as ACC. PCC is Primary Care Center and ACC is Aftercare Center. Under PCC, they admit only alcoholics. Okay, it could be any beverage of alcohol. Say rum, whiskey, beer, etc. Or it could also be combination of all. And under ACC, it is only for multiple drug addicts. They just shift their choice of substance from alcohol to the other drugs. And I was given placement at ACC, Aftercare Center. So that was a 3 months program when I joined, and then later they reduced it to 2 months. Okay. And again, 1 hour or 2 hours will not be enough to really share my experience, what I had at TTK Hospital. Again, the founder of TTK is, Shanti Ranganathan ma'am. She's such a visionary, and she developed it, so beautifully. It doesn't look like a hospital at all. They had their infrastructure pakka so that the patient will be able to listen to the classes, group therapy. We had activities, and we had individual counseling sessions, documentation, all that was going on. So my working hours is only from 10 to 5. Okay, since my house is very nearby, just adjacent to the building, it's just 2 minutes walk from here to there. So, I wouldn't even look at the clock. It just, ticks. And when I just, raise my head and see the clock, it will be 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Then, I had to get back when the warden says, Amma, romba late adu nee kalamunga appadinu. Okay. So that is how, we were, or it is the opportunity that I got to deal with patients, who had problem with addiction, who are physically and psychologically dependent. Okay. So that was the next experience where about NGOs. So, they are very keen in helping the patients. The first primary, core value is not for them to get the name. It is basically for the welfare of the society. And however, you write the equation, people who really work for the NGO is ultimately for the welfare of the society. There may be exceptional cases here and there where they loot money and, do something wrong. But still, ultimately, one or two, three people will be benefited from this. This is my perspective. Okay, if you people disagree with me, or if you have any disagreements, we can debate a little later. And moving on to my next experience, from TTK Hospital, I then joined my teaching profession. So, from 2008 onwards, I'm here at Madras Christian College, and I'm really, very, very thankful and filled with gratitude that I'm working here for such a long time. It's because of God's grace. And again, I did not disconnect with the NGOs. We here place students in the NGO for the field work. Okay, so I'll tell you about the curriculum very quickly. Shall I take some time to talk about it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so at Madras Christian College, the social work department, we have it in the aided stream as well as in the self-finance stream. So in the aided stream, they offer two specializations. One is community development, the other one is medical and psychiatry. Okay. And that's a very closely knitted group. So first years we have 20 students, and second year MSW there are 20 students, and there are 5 faculty members working there. I belong to the SFS stream, the self-finance stream, or the evening college. Okay, so here we have the undergraduation BSW, the post-graduation MSW, and we offer specialization only in HRM. Okay, and then this is also a research department because there are a few other faculty members who are approved to guide students for their PhD, and we also, guide students there. Okay, so and to tell you very frankly, in the beginning, there were a lot of clashes in this department because I'm from the school of thought where my teachers have, given me this input like working with the people in the field, in the grassroots is only social work. So that has really seeped into my mind so much that I'm not able to, take up or uproot this thought. Okay. But here in SFS, we offer what is called as human resource management. Okay, so only during the first year, they learn all these generic papers. As I told you earlier, psychology, sociology, all the core methods of social work, case work, group work, community organization, social action, all that they will learn. But during their second year, they will pursue their specialization, human resource management. So they'll be placed in either companies or manufacturing industry, or any other industry, in the HR department. So, usually the perception is people who work in the field will always sweat, right? And nobody can really go near them. And you can't see people with, makeup or always smiling like that. But people, on the other hand, from HRM, they don't really consider this, or they are not able to understand this. So they want a very, pakka infrastructure to work with, and they also deal with human resources. That's what they say. So I'm just trying to share my first few years of experience here at Madras Christian College, where there was a little clash because different school of thoughts. That's it. Okay. But then, when we were able to reframe the syllabus and work with, and I exclusively work with the undergraduates, BSW students. So, they just come from their schools and, they expect how a college will be. And their expectation is all based on the media, whatever they see. Oh, college இப்படி கட் அடிக்கலாம் இப்படி பண்ணலாம் அப்படி பண்ணலாம் அப்படிதான் உங்களுக்கு இருக்கும், right? So that is the expectation that they have. But once they enroll here, in social work, because I have seen through these decades, one decade and the next decade is in process. So I'm able to see how, students are changing from generation to generation. And to be very frank with you, this generation is, superb. They are able to understand. They are very focused on what is that they wanted to achieve in their life. Why did they choose their course? Because earlier, if we ask students, why did you choose BSW? They will say, எங்களுக்கு மத்த course எதுவும் கிடைக்கல. We did not get any other course. That's why we joined BSW. And they had this stigma or, thought like social work na road பெருக்கணுமா. This is what they used to say. Okay. And then again, we try to explain and tell them the difference between social service, social work, etc. So again, to tell you very quickly, what is the difference between social service and social work? Social service people don't, expect anything in return. But in social work, it's a profession, right? So we spend our time, so obviously they have to receive their remuneration. So this is the first difference people usually say. And educational qualification. Social service, anybody can do social work from any background. But social work is only done by qualified social workers, BSW, MSW, and people who have experience all this. And then the next difference, sarcastically, what I used to say is, in social service, people don't ask any question. They just give it. Say, for example, if we go to an orphanage or if we see any child, who's helpless or homeless, people who have money, just give it. Okay. But social workers, sarcastic-ஆ நான் சொல்லுவேன். கேள்வி கேட்டே நாங்க சாகடிப்போம். Okay, so we ask because we need to analyze what is it, why, how did they come up to this stage, etc., right? And then that is when we can address any problem from the root. Otherwise we'll be able to only look at it in a very superficial level and solve it then and there, which is very temporary. But the permanent solution, we can sort it out only by analyzing what the problem is or diagnosing the problem. Okay, so this is what is the difference between social service and social work. Okay, so I would like to just wind up saying that can I wind up, or should I go on? Afrida?
Ma'am, you can conclude.
Yeah, thank you. So, to just conclude, NGO Day has to be really, taken into consideration, and we need to recognize any work that is done by an NGO. So it doesn't mean that we don't really get into the purview of government. Even government recognizes the work, and say, for example, during the time of flood, the cyclone, etc., even before government gets into the field, it's the NGO who really reaches them quickly. So the connectivity and the number of reach is really high only by the NGOs. Okay, so this statement does not really say that the government is not doing anything. They take their time. Okay, but the quick reach or the connectivity can be given only by the NGO, so that we can reach so many people. And we always have this saying, reaching the unreached. Okay, it is not only in the rural areas, but also in the urban area and the metropolitan city. We have so many nook and corner. There are NGOs which is mushrooming and mushroomed, right? So we need to also check. And the technical part of NGOs, I have not dealt anything, here, the act, etc., and also, the eligibility, the criteria, the mandates, what an NGO should have. So, if time permits, maybe if I have been given another opportunity, I'll be able to share with all of you people. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I thank Afrida and the team for doing such a wonderful work, and this is a great opportunity via this webinar. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Tendral ma'am, for your enlightening words. We truly appreciate your insights. Next, we have Dr. Selvi ma'am, who will be sharing her knowledge and perspective with us. Ma'am, please proceed.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you all for putting up these things together so that we could deliberate upon what's happening, what has been happening, and what should be the way forward. Okay. So we all are women gathered here. Today's the topic or the title of today's talk is about sustainable development. So, who started, where it started, the sustainable development. We are gathered here as women. Okay, it was began by, if you talk about sustainable development, there are 3 women who are at the root of it. Okay, good or bad, we will see. The first one is Rachel Carson. Rachel Carson, in the 1960s, she wrote a book on Silent Spring. So this was after the post-World War. All the ammunitions, the raw materials were turned into fertilizers and pesticides, right? So to say, in America, they started spraying pesticides over the fields, and the fields used to be like hectares and hectares of land. They used to spray it through the helicopter, and it was killing not just this pest, it is also killing every other thing. The birds, whatever, if you go to any field, there will be a lot of noise, of the birds, of the beetles, of what you call, you have this bees, you have this, which takes the germination, pollination, and all those things. All these species are needed. But by spraying these pesticides, we have killed all of them. So based on this, just looking at this, she observed this and she wrote this book called Silent Spring. The spring has become silent. Spring is a time where every crop is mushrooming. There is a blossom, but you don't find the birds, you don't find the bees, you don't find all the other species would help in pollination and germination. If you all please read this book, very interesting lyrical book it is. Okay, so this is the first woman who put the seed for this entire environmental movement or the sustainable development movement. It is just a book. So this book actually caused a great what they call kind of a sensation in America. So people felt, yes, that is true. What she's saying is true. Yeah, that's the spring is silent. I don't see the birds. I don't see the cuckoos. I don't see the bees making its a sound. So the environmental consciousness was created. There was a lot of protest against these pesticides and all those things happened. Then this came to the knowledge of Barbara Ward. Barbara Ward was in the United Nations. So she did all the groundwork and she made a study through that platform that she got. And she wrote this book on only one earth. We have only one earth. Okay, that's it. If this is gone, we are gone. So this only one earth, we need to care for it. Right. So that is what if you are interested, you can just browse and you can read this book. This is another beautiful book. So based on these two documents, there was 1972, there was this Stockholm conference was organized. All the groundwork was done by Barbara Ward. And it was launched, and just to recognize her, they were called to on the stage. But then there was another woman, okay, from our own country, Indira Gandhi. She went and she said, no, she cannot come here. This is the forum only for national leaders. So not any employees can come here and address the forum of all the national leaders. So she is so she cannot address. So I said, okay, fine. Now, the second thing what Indira Gandhi did was, she said in that forum, she was actually against this, the Stockholm conference name was Human Environment, right? So she went there and she said, you people are all developed, okay, you are all developed countries, we are underdeveloped countries. In 1970, we were underdeveloped country. Even now also we are developing country only, we are not really developed country. So the proposal was the kind of the model that we are following is going toward disaster, right? Let's not follow this model of development. Let's have an alternate model of development. That was the main goal of this particular conference. This is the United Nations conference, happened in 1972. This is called Stockholm Conference of Human Environment. So now Indira Gandhi said, poverty is the greatest polluter. That's what she said. And we need to alleviate people from poverty. So environment is not something that we should care for. We should alleviate people from poverty. So we have to have development, right? So the development, we have to pursue development. We are underdeveloped. We need to develop, right? 50 years later, 1972, now how many years? 50, now we are 25, 52 years later, we see neither poverty alleviated nor the environment is in a good condition, right? That's where we stand today. So this is my first part of my I just wanted to speak in 3 parts. My first part was is like how the root of sustainable development, where it started. Then what is the actual practice? And I wanted to conclude it with current challenges. So now coming to the actual practice. What is the actual practice? As my friend and colleague Tendal ma'am put it, okay. So there are so many NGOs, they are able to reach the people at the grassroots. They are able to help them and all those things. So initially, how it started? So the fund was allocated, right? When the fund was allocated, these funds were given through the NGOs so that it can reach the people at the grassroots. But originally, it was the funds were channeled through. If, for example, if environmental ministry is there is an environmental minister. So what he would do, he would designate his wife or a daughter, and the fund will be channelized through them. So like 80-90% of it would be utilized by them, and only 10% goes or even less reaches the grassroots masses, right? So if you see, take every every NGO, most of the time you find it that way. So that is why, despite NGOs being around for so many years, so many decades, and the ground level, things have not really changed. Once I was asked a question, where do you work? I said, I'm a professor in a college. So she said, oh, lecturer. I thought you are working in some NGO. Like that, she said. I said, because the NGO staff would get a huge salary. Mostly the international NGOs, whoever is working in international NGOs, they were drawing lot of salaries compared to all other sectors. So this is something what do you call has not what we call, it's only the NGO staffs who were benefited, and people at the grassroots had some benefit, but not, it has not really changed anything at the ground level. Even the private organizations, okay, so they are supposed to, now there is a law which is talking about CSR fund, okay, corporate social responsibility. So they came out with that. So you have to put certain percentage of your profit to development. Now what they are doing, they are making their own foundation, right? Tata will have its own foundation, so it will give its fund to its own foundation. Shivnadar foundation is HCL. So like that, every company, instead of giving the fund out, they would just simply give it to their own foundations. Okay, wow, very good. I have only 3 minutes more, right? Now the current challenges is what we face today is the genuine organizations who really want to do something. They have to go through so much of scrutiny, right? So gave this today it is the entire thing is changed. Most FCRA is closed. In whatever people who are actually getting some benefit, they were also not getting any benefit now, because most of the NGOs, many of the NGOs who are running what we call homes for children and destitutes, they all had to close down because the foreign funds stopped coming. So it has got a big effect on the NGO sector currently. So you bring this paper, go, open that one ID, open this, open that, open that. There's so many things we have to do. Put this in right, otherwise you will be penalized. For doing good, you are being penalized. This is a problem faced by NGOs today. As on today, the environment is in a very bad condition. We all know that we can't walk on the street. We know the condition of it. The air quality, you know how it is, and the poverty all around us. Okay, we need to really introspect and see how we can there should be a way forward. We have to discuss and deliberate and come out with some solution where we can really do something on the ground. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, all of you, for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Selvi ma'am, for your valuable inputs. May your words inspire us, inshallah. We now invite Sister Fatima Jalal to share her thoughts with us. Fatima auntie, please go ahead. Fatima auntie.
அஃப்ரிதா 1 minute அஃப்ரிதா, நான் அந்த ஜாயின் பண்றேன். கொஞ்சம் ஏதாவது நீங்க இது பண்ணுங்க. அத்தாட்ட கார்ல போய் எடு, டக்குன்னு ஏசி போட்டியா? வேணாம், விடு. ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணவா அஃப்ரிதா? அஃப்ரிதா கேக்குதா?
Yes auntie, please start.
ஓகே. அளவிலா கருணையும் இணையில்லா கிருபையும் உடைய ஏக இறைவனின் திருப்பெயரால் ஆரம்பம் செய்கிறேன். எல்லா புகழும் இறைவன் ஒருவனுக்கே. அவனது சலாமும் சாந்தியும் அகிலத்தின் அருட்கொடையாக வந்த சத்திய தூதர் முகமது நபி, இறுதி நபி முகமது நபி ஸல்லல்லாஹு அலைஹி வஸல்லம் அவர்கள் மீதும், அவர்களை பின்பற்றி வாழக்கூடிய இந்த காணொலியில் இணைந்திருக்கக்கூடிய நல்லடியார்கள் அனைவர் மீதும் என்றென்றும் நிலவட்டுமாக என்ற இறைவனுடைய பிரார்த்தனையுடன் இந்த மாலை பொழுதில் உங்களை எல்லாம் சந்திக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு வாய்ப்பை கொடுத்த வல்ல இறைவனுக்கு நன்றி செலுத்தி ஆரம்பிக்கிறேன். எனக்கு முன்னாடி பேசிய சகோதரிகள் என்ஜிஓவுடைய முக்கியத்துவம், அதனுடைய பணிகளை குறித்தும் பேசினார்கள். இந்த என்ஜிஓவுடைய இதை அங்கீகரிக்கக்கூடிய நாளாக தான் இந்த பிப்ரவரி 27ஆம் தேதி சித்தரிக்கப்படுகிறது, சிறப்பிக்கப்படக்கூடியதா இருக்கிறது. அரசு அமைப்பு அல்லது அரசு சாரா தொண்டு நிறுவனங்கள் அவருடைய தனித்துவத்தை நிலைநாட்டுவதற்காக இந்த நாளை அனுசரிக்கக்கூடியதாக இருக்கிறது. இந்த என்ஜிஓவுடைய பணிகள் அப்படிங்கிறதுல பார்க்கும்போது நம்ம பாத்தீங்கன்னா சுற்றுச்சூழல், மனித உரிமை, குழந்தைகள் நலன், சமூக சேவை உட்பட பல்வேறு துறைகள்ல இந்த அரசு சாரா நிறுவனங்கள் பணிபுரிந்து கொண்டே இருக்கிறது. இந்த அரசு சாரா நிறுவனங்களுடைய ஒவ்வொரு விஷயங்களையும் நம்ம பார்க்கும்போது பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதனுடைய முக்கியத்துவம் நமக்கு தெரியக்கூடியதாக இருக்கிறது. இந்த சமூக பணி என்பது மிகவும் முக்கியமான ஒரு பணியாக இருக்கிறது. ஏழைகள், வறியவர்கள், தேவையுடையவர்கள், விதவைகள், கணவனால் கைவிடப்பட்டவர்கள், இவர்களுக்கு உதவி செய்வது ஒவ்வொரு அரசாங்கத்துடைய ஒரு கடமையாக இருக்கிறது. இந்த கடமையை அரசாங்கம் மட்டுமே செய்யும் என்று நாம் எதிர்பார்க்க முடியாது. இத்தனை கோடி மக்கள் இந்த உலகத்தில் இருக்கும்போது அத்தனை கோடிக்கும் இந்த அரசாங்கமே எல்லா பணிகளையும் செய்யும், எல்லா சேவைகளையும், எல்லா தேவைகளையும் நிறைவேற்றும் என்று ஒரு மனிதன் நினைக்க கூடாது. அது மட்டும் இல்லாமல் யாரிடம் வசதி உள்ளதோ அவர்கள் மீது இது சமூக பொறுப்பாக இருக்கிறது. சோசியல் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிலிட்டியாக இருக்கக்கூடியதாக இருக்கிறது. அப்ப ஒவ்வொருவருக்கும் இந்த சமூக சேவை இந்த பணியில் ஈடுபடுவதுங்கிறது கட்டாய கடமையாக இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறத நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம். ஏழ்மை வறுமை ஒழிய தனிநபரால் மட்டும் முடியாது. தனிநபரால் மட்டும் முடியாது. அரசாங்கம் மட்டுமே இதை நிவர்த்தி செய்யும் என்றாலும் அதுவும் முடியாத ஒரு காரியமாக இருக்கிறது. அப்ப அதை கூட்டாக தான் நாம் செய்ய வேண்டும். கூட்டு ரீதியாக செய்யும் போதுதான் நம்மளுக்கு இந்த சமூகத்தில் இந்த நாட்டுடைய ஒவ்வொரு நலனும் இருக்கக்கூடியதாக இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பார்க்கிறோம். இன்றைக்கு உலகம் முழுவதுமே 1 கோடிக்கு மேல என்ஜிஓக்கள் உள்ளன. இந்த 1 கோடி என்ஜிஓக்கள் இருந்துமே நம்மளுடைய ஒவ்வொரு பணிகள் ஒவ்வொரு தேவைகளும் வந்து அதன் மூலம் நிறைவேற்றினாலும் இன்னும் தேவையுடைய மக்கள் அதிகமாக தான் இருந்து கொண்டே இருக்கிறார்கள். இதனால் தான் இஸ்லாத்தில் வந்து ஜக்காத்தை வந்து கடமையாக்கப்பட்டுள்ளது. இஸ்லாம் வந்து ஜக்காத்தை கடமையாக்கி இருக்கிறது. ஒவ்வொரு பணக்காரர்களிடமிருந்தும் ஏழைக்கு செலுத்த வேண்டிய ஒரு வரியாக இந்த ஜக்காத்துடைய அமைப்பை வந்து இறைவன் அமைத்திருக்கிறான் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பார்க்கிறோம். யாரிடம் பண வசதி இருக்கிறதோ அந்த பண வசதியின் மூலமாக இந்த ஜக்காத்தை அவர்கள் நிறைவேற்றக்கூடியதாக இருக்கணும். அதுவும் 100க்கு 2.5% தான். அதாவது பர்டிகுலர் அமௌண்ட் நம்ம கிட்ட பொருளாகவோ இல்ல வேற வருமானம் வர மாதிரி இருக்குது அப்படின்னா அவங்க 100க்கு 2.5% ஜக்காத் என்ற அந்த ஏழைகளுக்கான வரியை அவர்கள் எடுத்து ஒதுக்க வேண்டும். அந்த ஏழைகள் வரியின் மூலமாக அந்த ஏழைகளுடைய தேவைகளை அவர்கள் நிறைவேற்ற வேண்டும் தான் இறைவனுடைய கட்டாய கடமையாக இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பார்க்கிறோம். இறைவன் தன்னுடைய திருமறையில் அத்தியாயம் 9 60வது வசனத்தில் குறிப்பிடும் போது இறைவன் குறிப்பிடுகிறான் இந்த ஜக்காத் எப்படி பயன்படுத்த வேண்டும், எப்படி கொடுக்க வேண்டும் என்பதை இறைவன் சொல்லும் போது சொல்றான். அவர்களுக்கு வந்து என்னது யார் யாருக்கு கொடுக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு 8 கேட்டகரியை இறைவன் வகுத்தளிக்கிறான். இந்த தான தர்மங்களை எல்லாம் ஏழைகள் வறியவர்கள் இந்த தான தர்மங்களை வசூலிக்கவும் பங்கிடவும் நியமிக்கப்பட்ட பணியாளர்கள் மற்றும் உள்ளங்கள் இணக்கமாக்கப்பட வேண்டியவர்கள் ஆகியோருக்கும் பிடரிகளை விடுவிப்பதற்கும் கடனாளிகளுக்கும் மற்றும் இறைவழியில் செலவு செய்வதற்கும் பயணிகளுக்கும் உரியனவாகும். இது இறைவனால் விதிக்கப்பட்ட கடமையாகும். மேலும் இறைவன் எல்லாவற்றையும் அறிந்தவனாக இருக்கிறான் என்று குறிப்பிடுகிறான். அப்ப தன்னுடைய திருமறையில் குறிப்பிடும் போது இறைவன் இப்படி சொல்றான். அப்ப இது ஏழ்மையை போக்க வேண்டும், ஏழ்மையை வந்து போக்கணும், ஏழ்மையை உருவாக்குவதற்காக இந்த திட்டம் அல்ல, ஏழ்மையை போக்க வேண்டும் என்பதுதான் இந்த திட்டத்துடைய உண்மையான ஒரு நிலையாக இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறதையும் நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம். 2015 ஆண்டுல ஐநா சபை நிலையான வளர்ச்சிக்கான சஸ்டைனபிள் டெவலப்மெண்ட் கோல்ஸ் இலக்காக வந்து 17 அம்சங்களை வந்து வரையறுத்துள்ளது. இந்த அம்சங்கள்ல என்ன சொல்லப்பட்டிருக்கு அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா வறுமை ஒழிப்பு, பசியில்லா உலகத்தை உருவாக்குவது, ஆரோக்கியம், தரமான கல்வி, பாலின சமத்துவம், தூய்மையான குடிநீர், சுகாதாரம், மலிவான சுத்தமான ஆற்றல், நல்ல வளமும் மற்றும் பொருளாதார வளர்ச்சி, தொழில் கண்டுபிடிப்பு, உள்கட்டமைப்பு, சமமின்மையை குறைத்தல், நிலையான நகரங்கள் ஒரு சமூகங்களை உருவாக்கக்கூடியது. இன்னும் அடுத்ததாக பொறுப்பான நகர்வு மற்றும் உற்பத்தி, பருவநிலை மாற்ற நடவடிக்கைகள், கடல்சார் வளங்களை பாதுகாத்தல், நிர்வாகத்தை பாதுகாத்தல், அமைதி மற்றும் நீதிக்கான வலுவான நிறுவனங்கள், இலக்குகளை அடைவதற்கான கட்டமைப்புகள், இப்படி 17 அம்ச திட்டத்தை இந்த ஐநா சபை நிர்ணயித்து இவற்றை நிறைவேற்றுவதற்கு ஜக்காத் மிகப்பெரிய பங்கு வகிக்கிறது என்பதையும் ஐநா சபை வந்து தீர்மானித்துள்ளதாக நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம். அப்ப வறுமை ஒழிவு வந்து முற்றிலுமா ஒழித்த காலங்கள் இருந்தது. நபிகளாருடைய காலத்துக்கு பிறகு வந்து உமர் பின் ஹத்தாப் அவர்களுடைய காலத்தில் இந்த ஜக்காத்தை முழுமையாக ஒழித்து ஜக்காத் வாங்குவதற்கு ஏழ்மையே இல்லாத வறுமையே இல்லாத ஒரு சொசைட்டியை வந்து உருவாக்கக்கூடிய நிலை இருந்தது அப்படிங்கிறதையும் நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம். அப்ப அந்த ஜக்காத் எப்படி வந்து அவர்கள் அந்த ஏழைகளுக்கான வரியை கொடுத்தார்கள்னா கூட்டாக சேர்ந்து கொடுக்கும் போது, தனித்தனியாக தனிநபர்கள் ஒரு நபருடைய கொடுக்கக்கூடிய அந்த தொகையின் மூலமாக ஒரு சமூகத்துடைய மாற்றத்தை நம்ம விரும்ப முடியாது. அப்ப ஒரு கூட்டாக வசூலித்து செய்யும் போது அந்த நம்மளுடைய சமூகத்தில் நாம் வாழக்கூடிய அந்த சொசைட்டில ஜக்காத்தை அந்த ஏழைகள் வந்து ஏழ்மை நிலையிலிருந்து அவர்கள் அந்த மற்றவர்களுக்கு உதவக்கூடிய ஒரு நிலை உருவாகக்கூடிய ஒரு காலகட்டமும் இருந்தது. அப்புறம் உமர் ஹத்தாப் கலிஃபாவுடைய அந்த ஆட்சி காலத்துக்கு பிறகு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா உமர் பின் அப்துல் அஜீஸ் உடைய காலகட்டத்திலையும் இதே நிலை தொடர்ந்தது அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பாக்குறோம். ஆனா நாளடைவுல அவங்க என்ன பண்ணாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா இதை தனித்தனியாக கொடுக்கும் போது ஒரு அமைப்பு சார்ந்து கொடுக்காமல் தனித்தனியாக இது பண்ணும்போது அந்த வறுமை இன்னும் ஏழ்மை நிலையை வந்து அதிகரிக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு நிலை இருந்தது அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பாக்குறோம். அதனாலதான் இறைவன் என்ன சொல்றான் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, மண்ணில் உள்ள மனிதர்களை இந்த என்ஜிஓடைய முக்கியத்துவம் இந்த அரசு சாரா அமைப்பு கண்டிப்பா தேவைங்கிறத வந்து இறைவன் வலியுறுத்தும் போதுதான் சொல்றான், நீங்க மண்ணில் உள்ள மனிதர்கள் மீது நீங்க என்ன பண்ணுங்க, நீங்கள் நேசித்தால்தான் விண்ணில் உள்ள இறைவன் உங்களை நேசிக்கக்கூடியவான என்பது முகமது நபியோடைய ஒரு திருமொழியாக இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பார்க்கிறோம். இன்னும் அடுத்து நீங்கள் மனிதர்கள் மீது இரக்கம் காட்ட வேண்டும். அப்படி மனிதர்கள் மீது யார் இரக்கம் காட்டவில்லையோ அவர்கள் மீது இறைவனும் இரக்கம் காட்ட மாட்டான் என்று நபிகளார் குறிப்பிடுறார்கள் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் நம்ம பார்க்கிறோம். அப்ப இறைவன் இந்த திருமறையில இந்த ஒவ்வொரு அத்தியாயத்திலும் குறிப்பிடும் போது ஆயத்தல் நன்மையின் வசனம் என்று அழைக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு வசனத்தையே குறிப்பிடுகிறான். எப்படி நமக்கு வந்து இந்த நன்மைகளை நம்ம செய்யணும், இறைவனை நெருங்குவதற்காக வெறும் நீங்க வந்து என்னது இறைவனை நெருங்கணும், இறைவனுடைய அந்த திருப்தியை நம்ம பெறணும் அப்படின்ட்டு பாத்தீங்கன்னா வெறும் வணக்க வழிபாடுகளின் மூலமாகவும் பூஜை புனஸ்காரங்கள் மூலமாக மட்டும் நீங்கள் என்னது இறைவனை அடைய முடியாது. அப்போ நற்செயல் வந்து நீங்க கண்டிப்பா செஞ்சு ஆகணும். அந்த நற்செயல் என்பது என்ன அப்படிங்கறத இந்த வசனத்தின் மூலமாக சொல்றாங்க. இந்த வசனத்துக்கு இறைவன் அழைத்து வச்சிருக்கிற இது என்னன்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா நன்மையுடைய வசனம். இந்த நன்மையின் வசனத்தை அடிப்படையில் ஒவ்வொரு மனிதனும் கட்டாயம் நடக்க வேண்டும் என்பதை குறிப்பிடும் போது இறைவன் தன்னுடைய திருமறையில குறிப்பிடுறான், நற்செயல் என்பது உங்களுடைய முகங்களை கிழக்கு நோக்கியோ மேற்கு நோக்கியோ திருப்புவது மட்டுமல்ல, மாறாக அல்லாஹுவையும் இறுதி நாளையும் வானவர்களையும் வேதங்களையும் நபிமார்களையும் ஒருவன் முழுமையாக நம்புவதும், மேலும் அல்லாஹுவின் மீதுள்ள நேசத்தின் காரணமாக தமக்கு விருப்பமான பொருளை நீங்க என்ன பண்ணும், உறவினர்களுக்கும் அனாதைகளுக்கும் வறியவர்களுக்கும் வழிபோக்கருக்கும் யாசிப்போருக்கும் அடிமைகளை மீட்பதற்கும் வழங்குவதும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் சொல்றான், நீங்க தொழுகை நிலைநாட்டி இந்த ஜக்காத்தை கொடுத்து வருவதும் தான் நற்செயல் அப்படிங்கிறத இறைவன் குறிப்பிடக்கூடியவனா இருக்கிறப்ப இந்த நன்மையினுடைய வசனமே வந்து என்னது, ஒரு மக்களுக்கு நீங்கள் மற்றவர்களுக்கு உதவி செய்யக்கூடியதாக தான் இருக்கணும். அப்ப இறைவனை நெருங்குவதற்கான வழிகள் வெறும் இந்த வணக்க வழிபாடுகள் மட்டும் இல்ல, சமூக பொறுப்பு ஒவ்வொரு மனிதனிடத்திலும் இருக்குது அப்படிங்கிறத இறைவன் தெளிவாக நம்மளுக்கு குறிப்பிடுறான் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பார்க்கிறோம். இன்னும் நபிகளாருடைய அந்த இளமை பருவத்திலேயே அவங்க என்ன பண்ணிருக்கிறாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நபித்துவம் கிடைப்பதற்கு முன்னாடி அவர்களுடைய இளமையுடைய காலகட்டத்திலேயே அந்த சமூக தீமைகளுக்கு எதிராக சமூகத்தில் உள்ள நடக்கக்கூடிய அந்த ஒவ்வொரு விஷயங்களையும் பாதுகாப்பதற்காக ஒரு இயக்கத்தை ஏற்படுத்தியிருக்கிறாங்க. அதுதான் சீர்திருத்த சங்கம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஹில்ஃபுல் ஃபுலோல் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு இயக்கத்தை அவங்க ஏற்படுத்தி அதுல என்ன மாதிரியான விஷயங்களை வந்து பண்றாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, நாட்டில் இருந்த அமைதியின்மையை பாதுகாப்பற்ற நிலையை போக்கக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும், பிராணிகளை பாதுகாக்கக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும், ஏழைகளுக்கு கண்டிப்பா நீங்க என்ன பண்ணணும், உதவி புரிந்து வரணும், குற்றமற்றவர்களையும் அநீதிக்குள்ளானவர்களையும் ஆதரிக்கக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும், அக்கிரமக்காரன் எவரையுமே நீங்க என்னது ஊருக்குள்ள ஒரு சமூகத்துக்குள்ள நுழைய விடக்கூடாது அப்படிங்கிறத சொல்லி இந்த திட்டத்தின் அடிப்படையில அந்த சமூக சீர்திருத்த இயக்கத்தை அன்றைக்கு முகமது நபி அவர்கள் ஏற்படுத்தினாங்க அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பார்க்கிறோம். இந்த இயக்கத்தை பற்றி சொல்லும் போது நாட்டில் அன்றைய சூழல்ல இருந்த பிரச்சனைகளை மையப்படுத்தி கண்டிப்பா ஒரு இயக்கத்தின் மூலமாக ஒரு கூட்டமைப்பின் மூலமாக தான் நாம என்ன பண்ண முடியும், அதை சீர்திருத்த முடியும் அப்படிங்கிற விஷயத்தை வந்து முகமது நபிகளார் எடுத்து காட்டினாங்க அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு விஷயத்தையும் நம்ம பார்க்கக்கூடியதா இருக்கிறோம். அப்ப இதன் அடிப்படையில நம்ம கண்டிப்பா என்னது இயக்கம் ஒரு கூட்டமைப்போட நம்ம இருந்து என்னது பணி செய்யணும், கூட்டமைப்போட ஒரு முக்கியத்துவத்தோட நம்ம வந்து என்னது அந்த ஏழைகளுக்கான விஷயத்தை செய்யணும் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் இங்க குறிப்பிடப்படுதா பார்க்கிறோம். இப்ப இந்த ஜக்காத் என்பது நம்ம வந்து அனைத்து மனிதர்களும் நம்ம வந்து சரியான முறையில இந்த கூட்டமைப்போடு நம்ம ஏழைகளுக்கான அந்த வரிகளை ஒதுக்கி நம்ம செஞ்சோம் அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா கண்டிப்பா நம்மளால என்ன பண்ண முடியும், ஒரு சமூகத்தை வந்து நம்ம உருவாக்க முடியும் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் பார்க்கிறோம். இன்னும் வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஐநா சபையிலேயே இந்த வந்து நான் குறிப்பிட்டு காமிச்ச அந்த ஏழைகளுக்கான விஷயங்கள் எந்தெந்த அடிப்படையில நீங்க வந்து உதவி செய்யணும் அப்படிங்கிற இதை சொல்லும் போது அந்த ஐநா சபையுடைய அந்த சஸ்டைன்ஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட் கோல்ஸ் உடைய அந்த இதுல வந்து என்ன சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்னா, நிலையான விஷயத்துல என்ன சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, இந்த நான் குறிப்பிட்ட இந்த 8 அம்சத்தின் அடிப்படையில் அவர்கள் பணி புரியணும், கண்டிப்பா இந்த மக்களுக்கு வந்து நம்ம சமூக கட்டமைப்புல செய்யணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு விஷயத்தை சொல்லும் போது என்ன சொல்றாங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா, வறுமை இல்லாது ஒழிக்கக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும், பசி இல்லாம பசியோட ஒரு மனிதன் வந்து என்ன பண்ணக்கூடாது, உறங்கக்கூடாது. அப்ப பசி இல்லாத ஒரு நாட்டுடைய பசியின்மையை வந்து நம்ம உருவாக்கணும். இன்னும் குறைக்கப்பட்ட ஏற்றத்தாழ்வுகளோட அவங்க மக்கள் வந்து என்னது அந்த ஏற்றத்தாழ்வுகள் எல்லாமே இல்லாம வாழக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும். அப்ப ஏராளமான ஒரு விஷயங்கள் நன்கொடைகள் மூலமாக நம்ம என்னது இந்த விஷயங்கள் எல்லாமே செய்யணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு இந்த ஐநா சபையுடைய திட்டத்துல வந்து குறிப்பிடுறாங்க அப்படிங்கிறதையும் நம்ம பார்க்கக்கூடியதா இருக்கிறோம். அப்ப இன்னும் என்ன சொல்றாங்கன்னா, இப்ப நிலையான வளர்ச்சிக்கு கூடுதலாக நம்ம வந்து என்னது அரசை மட்டுமே நம்பி அரசை மட்டுமே குறை சொல்லாமல் நாம் இதன் மூலமாக நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம், நம்மளுடைய அந்த ஒவ்வொரு மக்களுக்கும் அந்த என்னது அவர்களுடைய தேவைகளை நிறைவேற்றி ஒரு நல்ல சமூக ஒரு கட்டமைப்பை உருவாக்க வேண்டியது ஒவ்வொரு மனிதனுடைய ஒரு கட்டாய கடமையாக இருக்குது. அப்ப இது ஒவ்வொரு மனிதர்களுடைய உள்ளத்திலும் நம்ம என்ன பண்ணோம், இந்த கட்டாயம் என்னது, இதை வந்து ஒரு உதவி, ஒரு சமூகத்தை வளர்ச்சியுடைய முக்கியத்துவத்துல வந்து நம்ம என்னது ஒரு கூட்டமைப்போடு செய்யணும் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு விஷயத்தை நாம் வந்து இங்கே தெரியப்படுத்திக் கொள்ளக்கூடியவர்களா இருக்கிறோம். அப்ப இந்த என்ஜிஓஸ் இன்னைக்கு பாத்தீங்க அப்படின்னா பல்வேறு தரப்புல பல்வேறு மக்கள் வந்து என்னது இன்னைக்கு 1 கோடி நாட்டுல 1 கோடி 1 கோடி என்ஜிஓஸ் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா அந்த என்ஜிஓஸ் உடைய அந்த பங்களிப்பு எல்லாமே என்னது ஒவ்வொரு தனி மனிதனும் அதனுடைய இதுல இணைந்து நம்ம செயல்படக்கூடியவர்களா இருக்கணும். அப்படி செய்யும் போது நம்ம ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு சமூகத்தை நல்ல ஒரு கட்டாயத்தை உருவாக்க முடியும். ஏழ்மை வறுமை இல்லாத ஒரு இதையும் கல்வி தரத்தை உயர்த்தக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும். அவர்களுடைய பொருளாதார மேம்பாடு, அவர்களுடைய பொருளாதார வளர்ச்சி, இதுல வந்து நம்ம என்னது அவர்களை மேம்படுத்தி கொடுக்கும் போது அவர்கள் என்னது அந்த ஏழ்மை நிலையிலிருந்து வறுமை நிலையிலிருந்து மாறி என்னது அவர்கள் ஒரு நல்ல ஒரு வளமான ஒரு இதை வந்து நாட்டை உருவாக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு சமூக அமைப்பை உருவாக்க முடியும். இதன் மூலமாக நம்ம அனைவரும் சேர்ந்து இணைந்து செயல்பட வேண்டும். இந்த என்ஜிஓக்கள் மூலமாக நம்ம வந்து என்னது பிற மக்களுக்கு பயனளிக்கக்கூடியதா இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறத கூறி என்னுடைய இந்த உரையை முடித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். எல்லா புகழும் இறைவன் ஒருவனுக்கு.
Jazakallah khairan Fatima aunty for your inspiring speech. May your words inspire and guide us, inshallah. Next, we are honored to have Advocate Komal ma'am, who will now address us. Komal ma'am, please take the stage.
Good evening, everyone. It's such an honor to be a part of such enlightened women and also
Ma'am,
participants who
your
are.
voice is not clearly audible. Can you please check your network?
My mic is fine. Hello.
Your voice is not clearly audible, ma'am.
Oh my God. Am I audible now? Hello.
Yes, it is, but it is very lightly listenable.
Okay. Mhm. Audible now? Hello. Am I audible now?
It is still the same, ma'am. Can you try removing the earpods?
Yeah, I have disabled my earpods now.
Okay, ma'am, you can carry on.
Is it same? Hello. Is it still the same or am I fine now? Samina? Hello. May I continue?
Ma'am?
May I continue?
Okay, ma'am, you can continue.
Okay. So, as many of the previous speakers have enlightened us with the role of NGO in the sustainable development, being an advocate, what I feel is that the NGO has an capability to advocate the policies which the government have to the people, because the main motto of every NGO should be to create awareness to the people. Creating awareness is not in a such a way that you insist people on so many things, but there are many government policies and many government helplines and many government given the policies which people are unaware of. So when we come to saving schemes of it's a girl child, even which can be maybe very useful for the rural people. In urban, many of them are, everyone having different strategy of investing money in their life. But still in rural, keeping 100 rupees for a child is still a very big thing. So when people don't even know that there is a scheme which is available for a girl child, where you can just keep 100 rupees a month or even 1,000, whichever you can, and for which then government can put an interest and give you a lump sum amount at the age of 18. And when the government do so much and still people are unaware of it, and but when the NGO has the power to bring up the action. So every NGO should set up their goals and mottos in such a way that they march forward along with the government and along with other administrative procedure in order to guide people. So I see lately many NGOs are stuck with their one structure. Like they'll be having a motto. I greatly agree that, for example, an NGO will be so much interested on planting trees, and there will be another NGO who will be helping in rehabilitating drug used using youthful people, and there will be NGOs who will be helping challenge people. So though they have a motto to take care of people in need, I believe that NGOs should be having a longer goal. Like on the they should not be like today is a day we'll arrange food for the road peddlers and we'll give them food for today. What about tomorrow? If you give them a food today, and they'll be in context of they'll be getting it some other day and may presume themselves that they need to know. So, role of an NGO should be like they should have an goal where it is long term, where the role takes an plenty there. So if you keep on satisfying a limited group of needy people with their one day happiness or one day need, they may expect the same from the next day. And as an NGO, you may be forced to arrange those things than leading with the government. So, for example, instead of just providing food, how can you provide a livelihood for the people by which they can earn on their own and work? So lately, I'm not seeing many NGOs who is doing that. I'm seeing the NGOs who just provide food, who just provide clothing, which is also necessary. I completely agree. For who need those things are completely necessary. But an NGO's job does not end there, where you just put one day's need in front of you. Like government, நம்ம சொல்லுவோம் இல்லைங்களா, like இன்னைக்கு ஒரு நாளுக்கு they should not work. They should work for this generation. Also, we also come under the administrative works, where there is judiciary, there is a legislative body which makes laws. There are judiciary who takes care of the interpretations, and there comes the administrative executive part. In the executive part, there also lies administrative, and under the administrative there are bodies which comes under rules and regulations. There are bodies which can comes under bylaws, and there comes NGO, which also partly work as an body of the and right hand for the government to take out their jobs in a small way. Lately, I have seen an NGO who are really interested in setting up public toiletries and make sure it's clean, because we are seeing many public toiletries are there, but they are not hygiene enough and they are not clean enough for people to use it. So I've lately seen NGOs which is making that change, and I have seen an NGO who is keeping a pad dispensaries in every bus stop they see. So there are good things NGOs does to take those things forward, which the government has an administrative idea, because not every government body can exercise in street level. They have to. That's why we NGOs are there. So I strongly believe that in an NGO's role does not lie in just an one day work or an just feeding the needy or providing a little necessary things. Their jobs starts from an policy advocacy and policy implementation. So thus, and every NGO has its own motto and their point aim to reach there. So at some point of time, they may get diverted from their own policies by the time every new natural calamities comes. Maybe an NGO's job would be just providing things for necessary people. But when times of natural calamities, just like corona or in flood or in power cut or in cyclone, So they jump into their shoes of the government and tie up with them to help the needy. So at the time of that, the NGO also provide a work as an government organization. So thus, they should not limit themselves to to their ideas of their motto, and they should not limit themselves from their own ideas and visions. So sometimes they have to expand themselves to accommodate with the changes that are making in the government. Because I see many NGOs, like though they get projects, they will be only sticking that, okay, no, if my name is something associated with forest and my motto is just bringing up the environmental changes, I'll only stick with that and I'll not meddle up with other NGOs. That would not work. Then you don't, I believe, then you don't qualify to be an NGO or to work on it. So NGOs should be like they could accommodate, they could facilitate themselves to work with the government, and they should be flexible enough to be a part of that government policies and government helping, government duties towards the people, not helping. So I believe that you should also be expandable to the needs and the wants of the people at the time of the moment. So every time an NGO comes, many NGOs nowadays we see many NGOs work under project implementations of the government. So lately, I come from an NGO called Karen Welfare. Lately, we do a lot of things and agendas, as I said. But now lately, we have started doing that artistic painting works around the bridges and railway stations of the under the government project. So it is in a way to encourage those students who are artistic in nature, who are good in drawing and colors, and also to keep our environment or keep our surrounding beautiful, and also to stop people from spitting on it. But still, we see many people will be drawing today, and tomorrow, if we see, they would have meddled something with that like that. So, but still, we accommodate with the government needs and changes, because that's how we bring the change. If we keep on being rigid to what we are doing and we would not change our path, then we'll be not so called as an NGO, but just an organization who does this work. If our company, if they just keep delivering the same product, they'll be maybe specialized for that, but they would not grow with the people. So an NGO should be uh, uh, should accommodate the government. So my point is, an NGO should be in policy advocacy and also an project implementation body along with the government. Thank you for this opportunity, and I'm so glad that I'm being the part of such a wonderful team who is doing this, and so good to be in part of such a great women's talking here. Thank you.
Thank you, Komal ma'am, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us today. As we reach the end of our session, we invite Dr. Rabia Bashri, correspondent of Hidayah Islamic College for Girls and National Assistant Secretary of Jamaat-e Islamic Hind Ladies Wing, to provide a concluding note summarizing the key takeaways from today's discussion. Rabia aunty, please proceed.
In the name of Almighty, the most beneficent, the most merciful. Respected speakers and organizers and the host of the day. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And very good evening to all of you. Thank you all for sharing your experiences with us, and thanks to the organizers for organizing such a wonderful program. I thank all the speakers. They have given us very valuable points, starting with Ms. Tendel ma'am. She has said that NGOs is for the welfare of the people. And she has shared her experiences, how she has come to this position. And even she has said that she has enrolled many of our students in many NGO programs. Thank you, ma'am. You are doing a wonderful job. One more point she has shared is social service anyone can do. But so, can you mute, ma, please? Please, can you mute? Can you mute? Okay, the point which I want to share with you is she said that social work anyone can do, but social service anyone can do. Social work is only has to be done by the qualified people. Thank you, Ma'am. This is a new point which I have got from you. And Dr. Selvi, she has shared, she had divided her topic in 3 parts, and the point which I like one was, she has started her point with saying that this NGOs was started by women, and that was in 1960. And then she has given a very big list of women who has done for the work for these NGOs. And then the practical work also she has shared, and she said that NGOs being groundwork they have to do, and they have to change the society. She has given many valuable points also. Thank you very much, Dr. Selvi. Coming to Fatima Jalal ma'am, she has shared many verses and sayings of Prophet. And she said that every human being is responsible and everyone has to play their role. And she has showed the importance of zakat. And she said that collective work, we have to do the work in collectively. And she has highlighted many important things, and and he has said that how zakat has to be distributed according to the Quranic verses. Advocate Komal, ma'am, your point of view, I appreciate that one, because that is also new for us. You said that NGOs has to create awareness to the people, and many policies are there which people are unaware of it. Yes, that's true, ma'am. I agree with you. We also don't know how many policies are there and how to connect and how to get the policies also. Thank you very much, and for your enlightful points, sharing your opinion about the NGO. I really appreciate all of you for joining this program. So I want to highlight few more points from my side. Humanity is the thing which has bring us together, all of us today into this platform. We all like to serve the humanity. So Islam advises the believers to spend their property, the Islam advises the believers to spend for the relatives first and then other people in the society who are in need and seek of help. So our first duty is to serve, to take care of our people, and then we have to take care of the society. That's what our Islam advises us. And then Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he served the people irrespective of their religion or anything. Like I can give you an example. When he migrated from during the time of food crisis in Modar in Saudi Arabia, he organized the people food, and those people are not at all Muslim. So it means that we have to serve people irrespective of their religion, caste, or anything. And when Prophet ﷺ, he first migrated to Medina, he was in Makkah and he migrated to Medina. He established a mosque over there, and that was the central place for the community. Not only it was a place for worship, it was a hub for education and training. The masjid was used for the educational classes, training sessions, and then for the intellectual and social growth of the community also. Prophet used to advise the people to come over there and do all their activities. This is how I think this is one another part of our NGOs. And even Quran.
Auntie?
Hello, am I audible? My net got disconnected. So am I audible?
Yes, Auntie. Yes. Now we're audible.
Okay. So Islam also encourages to make permanent changes in people's life. Like I can say, Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's wife, Aisha, she said that the work which God credit, we can we can support, we can detect the
Sorry for the inconvenience. Seems like network played an issue. Kindly wait till she joins again.
I'm extremely sorry. I have net problem at home. So maybe because of that. Now, am I audible, ma?
Yes, auntie. Yes, auntie.
Just okay. So the point which I was discussing with you was Islam even supports the microcredit. Like Islam donates the machines and supports small industries. For the women, they have the sewing machine projects and they have the skill development projects. All these projects are there to make them generate the income. By doing their own business, they can generate the income. So Prophet Sallallahu he said that if you give the animal or give a loan, has the equal reward as one who frees a slave. So according to Islam, charity is not just words. Islam has practical way to manage the humanitarian aid, like how Fatima Jalal ma'am, she said, like zakat. Zakat is a fundamental principle of Islam, as important as praying and fasting during the Ramadan and Hajj pilgrimage to the Mecca. So it is also important, as she said, already informed that it is given to the needy and the poor people, taking from the funds from the rich one. And every Muslim has to donate 2.5% of the annual income. Zakat is not just a religious application. We can say that it's a right of the poor. It is mentioned in the Quran that in their properties, there was a right for the beggars and the needy. In this 21st century, with the development of the communication and transportation, humanitarian support has not limited to one place. You can see by sitting here how we are talking like that. Wherever there is a need, these NGOs, they are covering that one. These people, they are traveling or they are supporting the people, the needy ones. We can see this one. You have seen, we are the witness for this one during the COVID or the flood time, how the NGOs has worked, how they have supported the corona people, the supporting by providing the food, medicine, concentrate, oxygen concentration, and then even the vehicles, many things we have seen. All the religions, even the Muslims, all the NGOs, they have participated in this one. So NGOs role is very, very important. I can say in Islamic, the two festivals which are there, they also plays the humanitarian aid role. Like during the Ramadan, we are going to have Ramadan. So you can see the Islamic NGOs, they will raise the funds in the Ramadan, and they collect the money and few amount they give it to the food to the needy people, and the rest of the amount they use for the development programs only. And we have Qurbani operations, which you people will remember when we say Bakrid. So this festival is involved the sacrifice of animal. The meat which was that day, which was which we get, that meat, the many NGOs, they distribute to the needy people and even send to the other countries where malnutrition peoples are there. So taking care of the one more thing is taking care of the orphans. Prophet Sallallahu he said that taking care of the orphans is very important. If you take care of them, he encouraged them by saying that whoever take care of the orphans, they will be with me in Jannah. So like this, we have many more things I can go on telling to you how Islam encourages the Muslims to do these charitable activities, not only in the name of NGO, to do it in any other name, whatever you will name it, but to do it one. This is your responsibility. We have to do it. So on this International World Day, let us ensure that as an NGO, we strive to build a better society and help those in need. By working together, we can make a significant impact and bring positive change to the communities. Let us commit to our mission of passion and support. Reaching out to those who need it is very important. Jamaat Islami Hind Chennai Ladies Wing is committed to fostering social change and community welfare. We want to inspire the youth and community members to actively participate in civil society work and raising awareness in the society for education, health, and women rights and policies as said, which the government are providing. We have to work together. Let us come together. Let us form a platform. Let us work together for the welfare, for the development of this, of our country, of our society. Thank you very much in participating in this session and giving you valuable insights. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, and very good evening to all of you.
Jazakallah khairan, Rabia aunty, for your wonderful conclusions and insightful reflections. Do anyone have any questions to ask our speakers or share your views? Okay, I think we can move to our vote of thanks session. So as we conclude this beautiful and enlightening session, I take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude. First and foremost, a sincere thanks to all our esteemed speakers for their time, knowledge, and valuable contributions. Your words have left a lasting impact on us. A special thanks to Sister Amina Kaiser for the soul-touching tilawa and to Sister Azimu for her warm welcome. I also extend my gratitude to our organizing team, volunteers, and technical support for ensuring a smooth session. Finally, to our dear audience, Jazakallah Hai for being a part of this session. Your participation and engagement mean a lot to us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all, and may we continue to seek and spread beneficial knowledge. With that, we officially conclude our webinar. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.